for all things nerd. Recorded live from a studio high in the San Diego hills. All the top news in gaming, movies, and more. And now, your host.
What's up, what is up? I know I've said multiple weeks it was the hottest week. This is literally the hottest day that it's been in a while. And I am dying here. Not literally. How are you guys doing? Are you guys going through a heat wave or crazy weather? I don't have air conditioning, so it's adding like another layer of insanity. But I digress. That's what this is for. No, there's some good stuff we're going to talk about. We are going to talk about Xbox finally announcing their disc-to-digital program. While, yes, it's still a sign of the impending all-digital future, at least they're giving you more options. Rockstar has finally responded to the leaks. They've also confirmed some other things before their deep dive hits Netflix and YouTube tomorrow. We lost two great icons of just pop culture this week in Dolly Parton yesterday and Tim Curry today. And I don't think people realize how involved Tim Curry is in their childhood or things that they like. And of course, Dolly Parton just did amazing things for the world, realistically. We're also going to talk about Tony. I saw the Anthony Bourdain movie yesterday. We are going to talk about how Lanterns is shining bright on HBO Max. And Gamescom opening night live was yesterday. 50 games announced. We're going to talk about all of it tonight on this week's Nick's Nerd News. But first, why don't you head over to nicksnerdnews.com. That is the one-stop shop for all things Nick's Nerd News. You can listen to the show right in your browser, or you can take us on the go, because I got links, all the links to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and YouTube. Right? Also, check out the social media tab. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. We're on Threads. We got a Facebook. And guess what? YouTube's also a social media site. What? Anyway, let's not waste any more time and get straight to the news, shall we? All right, so game sales, physical game sales, and the internet is having a field day with this. They dropped to their lowest July of all time in the U.S. to $85 million. Now, that's still a lot of money. Don't take this the wrong way. But this isn't also the doom and gloom that the internet is making it out to be. You know why? There weren't that many games released last month. Of them, they were Switch titles. So this is not anything that we need to worry about just yet. We need to really think about the actual sales numbers as more games start to hit this month, next month, October, all before the GTA November, right? This is something that is going to be talked about for a long time. I mean, the PlayStation boycott is actively happening right now, this week. So there's so many different things that we need to think about before we say hit the panic button, you know. But Dave Bautista has officially been cast as Kratos. No surprise there. I mean, it seemed like it was pretty much a done deal when we reported on it a couple weeks ago. So it looks like, that's happening. Again, no surprise there at all. I think everybody knew that was going to happen. So, let's see. The 25th anniversary Xbox. It is not cheap. Not cheap at all. It leaked. It leaked early. The price was confirmed today. You can still pre-order the controller separately, even though that thing's $80, and that's a little excessive if you ask me. But I don't like how even controllers cost an arm and a leg now. But the 25th anniversary translucent green Xbox Series X will cost $899. Now, it does come with a controller, and it does come with a copy of Halo Combat or Campaign Evolved. So it technically is a okay deal. It's not ideal. But it's better than paying the $700 or $800 for the console by itself, right? It is going to be released on November 13th, so it comes out in November. And yeah, I don't know which version is it though. Is this just the 2 terabyte or the single terabyte? It don't get me wrong, this thing's beautiful. I ain't paying $900 for it though. A, I don't have that kind of money, and B, I'm perfectly fine with my current Series X. I really would love to know how much this would cost if we weren't in this Apocalypse, Ramageddon, whatever the fuck we're calling it now. I would love to know what that would cost. Honestly, it'd probably be $500-$600 at most, because console prices would have gone down, not up, in this hellhole that we live in right now. So this awful timeline. But you know what? Oh well. All right, let's talk about the Grand Theft Auto leaks. Tomorrow on Netflix, and then several hours later on YouTube, Rockstar will do a deep dive on Grand Theft Auto 6. However, the leaks have been coming out strong, specifically by one person, CyberLeak, who is scamming people, in my personal opinion. The man is charging people for access to leaks and charging people for polls and things like that, and has put out more. Multiple people are being hit with subpoenas, multiple corporations. A YouTuber was named recently in a subpoena, even though they are claiming they have nothing to do with it. But we don't exactly know. They've gone to Microsoft and Discord asking for access to the servers, and I think they've been granted some access. People are talking about it en masse. CyberLeak is offering more leaks and more stuff and things like that. Put out more gameplay videos. People are spending so much money. He's selling a crypto coin. This is getting out of hand. It is insane to me that this is happening right now. Like, why are you doing this? What is the point? Other than you scamming people for your own personal gain, why do this? People have been waiting, I know, for a decade plus, right? I think we can wait some more. There's some people that are freaking out about, that it's going to be on Netflix tomorrow. Like, okay, it'll be free on YouTube later. Some of us have jobs and can't watch it live on Netflix. People are in school or people are busy. Not everyone's going to be at home to watch this thing. Hell, even a former dev from Rockstar says all this leak stuff is a nothing burger. Obi Vermeij says that the leaks, don't worry about it. He worked at Rockstar North from 95 to 2009 and said on social media, quote, "Calm down, everybody. The leaks are a nothing burger. As a marketing strategy, Rockstar is trying to keep the game under wraps longer than other publishers. All that has happened is that some footage has escaped slightly ahead of the Netflix thing next week. 90% of future players don't spend their time on the internet looking for video snippets. They don't have the time and don't want spoilers. I imagine the teams are a little annoyed about it, but not more than that. I was there during Hot Coffee. It was a nightmare for management, but didn't affect us much. The current leaks are far less consequential than HC was. It looks like GTA 6 will be phenomenal and sell for the next 15 years or so. The leaks are just a tiny blip," unquote. If you don't know what Hot Coffee is, it was the most ridiculous scandal regarding an alleged sex minigame inside of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. I don't think it was ever real. I'm sure you can venture as to which news network had a conniption over it. God, was that 21 years ago? Vermeij said, quote, "No, it really hurt. The game had to be withdrawn from stores in the USA. It could only be sold as 18 plus until the new version was ready. It is estimated to have cost $50 million, which was a lot of money for Rockstar Take-Two at the time," unquote. So there you go. It had an adults only for a while. It wasn't even in the main game. Modders found it. Well, anyway, Rockstar finally responded, because even Discord was going to look into it and see how they were going to announce a reply and everything. But Rockstar finally responded about what's going on with it. And they confirmed some other details about the game. But they addressed it and put out a statement to their social medias calling it a devastation for the team. This is the statement saying, quote, "We know that many of you have been waiting to hear from us regarding the events of the past week. It would be an understatement to say that having videos of Grand Theft Auto 6 gameplay leak in this way has been heartbreaking for our team. And this is obviously not how we intended for you to see the game after all this time. We are very sorry that everything has taken us as long as it has, from getting the game finished, nearly there, to sharing more details and official gameplay and providing the community with everything you want to know. We are very excited for everyone to see the extended look tomorrow. It has taken longer than we wanted to get it ready, but as with everything we know we need to exceed your expectations, and we are determined to deliver at the level you expect and deserve. While it is unfortunate that the intended game experience may now be impacted by some spoilers, we hope that everyone will wait a bit longer to experience the game for themselves on November 19th. We want to thank everyone in the community who has reached out with messages of support in this past week. Your words have meant more to this team than you can imagine. Ultimately, we are making this game for you, and without you, we would not have the privilege of making games. We look forward to sharing more with you soon," unquote. Yeah, it's just ridiculous that all of this is happening. They did call it heartbreaking, and the team is upset with it. Obviously, developers don't want you to see stuff from a leak that might not be current or up to date. So yeah, I understand. So there might have been story spoilers, but anyway, Rockstar has confirmed in a interview with Dazed magazine that Grand Theft Auto 6 may have RPG elements. So it sounds like they're bringing back some elements from San Andreas. You will be able to eat, work out, sleep, and all of these will have impacts on the two protagonists. And we don't know how it will affect gameplay, but it will affect their looks at least. There's also a social media feed, obviously, character switching, and then it looks like there's going to be repercussions for how things are handled in the game, in the story, and things like that. But we'll learn a hell of a lot more tomorrow when the deep dive launches on it. We also learned that Rockstar doubled in size. They hired real-life experts for certain things. Even opened a studio in Los Angeles focused only on NPC creation and development. So they went from 2,000 employees in 2018 to 4,000 now. They have new studios in Australia, India, and like I said, Los Angeles. India is allegedly where the leaks came from. But they brought in professionals like stylists and people that would help with the look and feel of Miami or Vice City, social media, things like that, race car drivers for vehicle handling, street artists to design murals and things like that. But they're now, some of them are full-time employees at Rockstar, which is another insane thing to think about, that Rockstar has people like that on payroll to work full-time. But I cannot wait to see more about it when I get home tomorrow. So obviously we're going to break that all down next week. Moving on. We have a time frame for when The Witcher 4 will release. CD Projekt Red has confirmed that 2028 will be the year that The Witcher 4 releases. They are targeting a 2028 release window. I'm sure they will get it done, knowing CD Projekt Red. But we did get news about the new expansion for The Witcher 3 as well. We'll talk about that in a bit. But The Witcher 4 is expected in 2028. So, a little while ago, we talked about some AI stuff on Twitch. Well, a new class action lawsuit is looking to protect you. Twitch and Amazon are being sued over its generative AI content that's automatically enabled for it to scrub your stuff. You know, there was, you have to opt out of it. It's automatic opt-in, which is insane these days. And the fact that they had to add a setting for you to opt out is ridiculous. A class action lawsuit has been started in the Northern District of California. And yeah, look at that. If you have a Twitch account, you may be able to get compensation. So, let's talk about The Witcher 3 is getting a new expansion, which is called Songs of the Past. It's adding Gwent, so people are stoked. A release is next year, and which is insane. It's also getting a free upgrade to a remaster version, which, hell yeah, CD Projekt Red. And if you don't have Blood and Wine or the other expansions for The Witcher 3, they're free. They're free right now. So everything free ahead of Songs of the Past, which is coming, and then, of course, The Witcher 4 in 2028. So, obviously, we've spent a lot of time on Grand Theft Auto 6. Well, guess what? Grand Theft Auto 6 is teaming up with NBA 2K27. Of all games. Of all fucking games. Oh, wait. 2K, Take-Two, owns both Rockstar and 2K. So, no surprise there. Corporate synergy. Everyone repeat after me. So, yeah. It looks like they're going to do some kind of team up with it. We don't know what or how it's going to work, but it will be for Season 3 in Grand Theft Auto, or in NBA 2K27. So this will happen probably sometime around the release of Grand Theft Auto 6 as well. But all we saw was just that the logo for Season 3 was in the GTA font and color scheme. But the strangest team-up collab I've ever heard of is happening because of corporate synergy. All right, let's talk about opening night live at Gamescom, where more than 50 games were shown off or announced in total. The first game shown off was called Nodus Fall, Nodus, from developer Hoyoverse, the team behind Genshin Impact. People are calling it a Monster Hunter Elden Ring type game. Next, a new Rainbow Six was announced, but this is Rainbow Six Tactics. It will be a single-player turn-based tactical game within the Rainbow Six universe. It releases next year across PC, console, and more. It will also be available on Ubisoft Plus, GeForce Now, and everything else like that. No release date, but it is a tactics game. That is a genre that is popping up. We got a new trailer for Gears of War E-Day. The game is out on October 6th. It showed off more of the campaign. We got another look at the game Ananta, which is a free-to-play open-world RPG from NetEase, which people are calling it an anime GTA. That remains to be seen if that will be true. The game launches in January. Silent Hill Townfall got a new trailer. Still don't have a release date, but they showed off the English voice cast for the game. Crimson Desert Enhanced was announced, which is essentially a 2.0 update for the game. That's coming soon, or if it's not already out. Tides of Annihilation was a new game announced. It's being developed for major consoles and PC as well. And Angela Santalbano will be voicing the main character in the game. But it looks like it's based around the powers of King Arthur. Loaf Song is a new indie game from an Italian indie developer. So we'll see what that's about. It's just some kind of... no idea how to explain it because the trailer doesn't make any sense. A new Mega Man was announced. Mega Man Dual Override. Dual Override's due out next year, and it looks like Mega Man X is going to be there as well. Mega Man is also getting... No, not X. Who's the other Mega Man? There's so many Mega Mans. Sorry, Proto Man. But, yeah, Mega Man Dual Override. Mega Man's also going to get some crazy fucking power-ups, it looks like, which I'm all in for. Love me some Mega Man. We also got a new trailer from Rayman Legends Retold, the remake of Rayman Legends. PUBG is getting a new PvP FPS called PUBG and it's set in the 90s in a fictional version of the Pacific Northwest. But it's going to be character-driven combat, and like I said, it will be a PvP FPS. We finally got gameplay of Game of Thrones War for Westeros, the new RTS game set within the Game of Thrones universe. Dust Origins is a new isometric game that is coming from Airship Syndicate, the makers behind Darksiders. Isometric games are also having a resurgence. A new game from Archetype Entertainment announced, Exodus, which people are comparing to Mass Effect, is coming out in April. They released a new cinematic gameplay trailer revealing more of the game and everything like that. I mean, the game has a mech controlled by an octopus. I'm in just for that. We got our first real look at Warlock, the new Dungeons & Dragons game. It is due out next year across consoles and PC. Wizards of the Coast says, quote, Warlock is set in a dark fantasy open world inspired by Dungeons & Dragons, where magic is a tool that players will use creatively across systemic combat and exploration. Developed by Invoke Studios, the game places players in the role of Khatri, a veteran weapons master who makes a pact to wield otherworldly magic against dark powers. The role of Khatri is performed by the award-winning Trisha Helfer. Warlock empowers players to use magic to overcome a wide range of challenges. In exploration, every spell is a key that unlocks new paths and possibilities. In a beautiful yet unsettling world, when facing enemies, magic and melee combine for a combat experience that is both tactical and visceral, unquote. 1001 Threads of Mizan is a new... I don't know what this is. It's made by MBC Game Studio with former developers of BioWare, Hi-Rez, and Ubisoft Montreal, Bungie, and more. It is an action-adventure set in the world of 1001 Nights, so the Arabian fantasy story, like Aladdin and stuff like that. And it's more futuristic, and it's got magic carpets. Elementa Games announced a new open-world RPG called Silver Palace, but it's a detective adventure. It's for mobile, PC, and PlayStation 5. Metro 2039 got a new gameplay trailer, as this game is set to release in February across consoles and PC. Snoop Dogg is coming to Hitman World of Assassination, as Snoop Dogg continues to do side quests. Aeon 2, I don't know how to say that, AION, from NCSoft, will release in October in North and South America, Europe, and Asia, and then things like that, which this looks like a Souls-like game. Afterworld is a new grand strategy game from Paradox that is built around restoring America's might. And it's their first original setting game from Paradox in over a decade. It is the official blurb says, quote, set in a procedurally generated North American wasteland, players guide a small band of survivors as they secure food, water, and shelter, rediscover lost technology, and build a continent-spanning empire. Players will define the laws and values of their society, navigate moral crises, negotiate or fight with rival tribes, and unlock advances through a dynamic ideas tree shaped by what they discover and experience. This strategic sandbox supports both competitive multiplayer and co-op, with emergent stories, shifting resources, ancient technology, and immortal pre-fall leaders known as the Ancients. It will launch sometime in the future on PC and Steam. Honestly, it looks like Mad Max, but in America. Hoyoverse showed off another game called Petite Planet, a new cozy life sim. Mugenics is a new game from Matthias Bossi from Ridiculon, coming to consoles only. It is a new... I'm not sure what it is. Strange looking. Road Kings from Focus Entertainment and Saber is a new truck simulator game that is expected sometime in March 11th actually, on PC and console. Stage Tour is a new rhythm game from Red Octane, the team that used to make Guitar Hero. This game launches in December and looks to be a spiritual successor to Rock Band. It reminds me of Guitar Hero World Tour because it's coming with drums, a microphone, and Rock Band, right? And a guitar. 90 plus songs, major artists, official support from Gibson and other major brands. See just a few of the names: Ghost, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Paramore, Avril, Weezer, Blink-182, Duran Duran, Def Leppard, Genesis, Metallica, Muse, ZZ Top, Olivia Rodrigo, Tenacious D, and more. Honestly, the pricing isn't terrible either. The game with guitar by itself is $129. If you pre-order, it will be $150 full price. The drum kit is where things get expensive, and they have different guitars that will also be $129 by themselves. The whole kit, like microphone, guitar, game, and expanded drum set, is $349. This is where the prices go up. They also have a 2-guitar option, different guitars. They have a Les Paul. They have a Gibson SG in different colors. They have a Kramer guitar. So they also have a Gibson Explorer 8K. They have options. So I cannot wait. This is a game I'm definitely going to hopefully buy. I love Guitar Hero and games like it, and I've been itching for a rhythm game like this. I am stoked. We also got to see what multiplayer will look like in Crazy Taxi World Tour. It's exactly what you think it is. Multiplayer taxi routes. A new trailer for Turok Origins, which is a new entry into the franchise. Saber Interactive is working on it. That launches in spring of next year. Also, a new third-person co-op game called Gravhounds, where you play a anthropomorphic dog from indie developer Octopus Panic. It's a new 1 to 4 player co-op action builder game coming to early access on PC and Xbox in November. It will be a day one Game Pass game, but interesting. Yeah. One of the other biggest announcements from Paradox is a new Skylines game. But it's not what you think. It's Lego Skylines from Ice Flake Studios and Paradox Interactive. I think everyone's wanted this game forever. It launches sometime in the future on PC and console and Nintendo Switch too. Path of Exile 2 is getting its final full 1.0 release in December. Heroes of Might and Magic 3 got an official reveal trailer that's due out next year on Ubisoft Plus, consoles, and PC, which Heroes of Might and Magic 3 is the only Heroes of Might and Magic game I've played, and it's one of the greatest games I've ever played. I loved that game so much, and it's nice to see it get a new remaster look to look like modern games. No Law is a new game from the team that made The Ascent, one of those great isometric games. This is, again, similar in the vein of The Ascent. It's due out next year. This game will actually be first-person, though. Ontos, a new game from Frictional, the developers behind Amnesia, is a new game starring Stellan Skarsgård that's coming to PC and console next year. A new game in the Pony Island franchise is coming called Pony Island 2 Panda Circus, coming out in April. Zoopunk is a new Metroidvania game where you play anthropomorphic animals as well from Tencent. Reminds me a bit of Biomutant. There are no Ghosts at the Grand from Friday Sunday, which is a new musical mystery game, which looks interesting. Roko Kingdom was announced from More Fun Studios. It's a multiplayer open-world creature collector from the Chinese franchise. The Defiant is a new story-driven shooter set within the Asian theater of World War II, built in Unreal Engine 5. We'll have tactical combat, and it's going to be set in the Chinese War of Resistance against Japan, coming to console and PC. Teray the Unbound made its first appearance. This is an Eastern dark fantasy game with Eastern-inspired cinematic visuals from Agasa. This looks like an interesting boss battle game. Very Souls-like, but an isometric Souls-like. We got a new trailer for Final Fantasy VII Revelation, which is expected to release in spring. This is the third game in the Final Fantasy VII remake. We got our first proper look at both the Ruby and Emerald weapon as well as the Ultima weapon, and new summons and things like that. Like I mentioned earlier, The Witcher 3 Remastered, and then Songs of the Past, the new expansion for The Witcher 3, was finally shown off. And that comes out in 2027 as part of The Witcher 3 Remastered. And those were all the games at opening night live. Obviously, we've been getting a lot more news from Gamescom. So many different things. They're just showing off games we've known about, games that were announced during opening night live. and we're getting deep dives and things like that. If more news comes out, I will obviously cover it next week. Xbox is supposed to have their little showcase this week as well, so more announcements to come. Speaking of Xbox and their 25th anniversary, Xbox and Razer announced that Razer-made peripherals for Xbox are getting special 25th anniversary versions in translucent colors, in translucent green and everything like that, including its keyboards, its Black Widow keyboards, its Basilisk gaming mouse, Hammerhead high-speed latency AirPods. So these are all things coming in the Xbox translucent 25 green options. And also getting several other colors as well. But if you're willing to shell out for those devices, they are available for pre-order now. And Xbox and IKEA are teaming up. Hey, when you got, full caps names, you got to team up. So they've been rumored for a while. There were some AI images that were going around the internet for a while. They will go on sale in the UK starting in October. We don't know if it's coming to the US, though, but it's all Xbox-themed furniture collab. New side tables, chairs, what looks like an easel, but it's a TV stand. There's a D-pad pillow, so many different things, stools. All of this is themed around Xbox and gaming. There's like a bowl plate thing that looks like the circle D-pad on the controller, on the Elite controllers. There's a literal stool that looks like a joystick, and it's green. It's like the TV stand's pretty nice, if you ask me. There's other colors of the joystick stools as well. I don't think those are going to be comfortable. There's a side table that rolls that has sliding doors, so you can put, hide your controllers and things like that. All different kinds of things that are gaming accessory related. A gaming chair. My biggest question, though, is this coming to the US? They even have display cases for your controller that are like floating shelves. That's nice if you want to show off, custom controllers or special edition controllers, things like that. But again, it's coming to the UK in October. I don't know if it's coming to the US at any time. The prices are reasonable. It is IKEA. But the IKEA Xbox collab is official. There's one company that isn't abandoning physical media. That's Atari. And they're re-releasing just under 40 Atari 2600 games on new physical cartridges. In a collaboration with Activision, it is the Atari X Activision collection. Considering they haven't worked together in almost 50 years. 39 classic Activision games will be released on working cartridges for the Atari 2600. Pitfall, River Raid, Kaboom, and more. Standard editions of 12 of the games will be available starting in November for $35 each. And those are Pitfall, River Raid, Mega Mania, Enduro, Kaboom, Hero, Pressure Cooker, Private Eye, River Raid 2, Keystone Capers, the Activision Decathlon, and Pitfall 2. Those will come out a little later, though, those last two. The standard edition games will have full packaging, printed color manual that based on the original release. They'll work with the 2600 Plus, the 7800 Plus, as well as the original 2600 and 7800. There's also going to be four different box sets, which will open up to the 39 total games. The box sets are dubbed Treasure, Speed, Secrets, and Victory. Those will be launched in November. And then throughout the later box sets. So the first box set comes out in November, and then the other three box sets will release over the next few months of 2027. Those can be pre-ordered for $250 on Atari.com. We don't know what is fully available in those games. And then if you buy there will be a complete collection of all 40 games for $1,000, which will come with a yet-to-be-announced collectible. So yes, physical media is back for Atari games. When was the last time you heard that? Probably never. Oh, speaking of retro games coming back, there is a Commodore 64 special edition called the Commodore 77, and it's cyberpunk themed, which is wild to me because can the new cyberpunk play on one of these new Commodores? And speaking of digital games, Xbox finally announced today their new disc-to-digital feature, which will be launching soon, allowing you to essentially digitize your physical games while allowing you to still play your physical games as well. It's rolling out to Xbox Insiders starting on the 31st, and then will make its way to everybody else sometime in the future. While it originally leaked earlier in the summer, now we have full details. Your discs will remain playable. So, however, if you let someone borrow it, you'll lose access to your digital license. So, there's other things as well. But at least the disc won't be made, useless. But you'll be able to stream game and through cloud access and other things through Play Anywhere if it supports those features. So sometimes if you didn't buy it from Xbox, you'd lose out on Play Anywhere. Now you will gain some Play Anywhere features just because you already own the game. You don't have to have it installed. You can play it on PC, the ROG, anything because of this. But we don't know if it's going to be supporting the original Xbox or 360 games. Right now it will work on Xbox One X and Xbox Series X games. So not every game is being supported. As of right now, thousands of games will be supported at launch, with more added over time. We don't know more. CEO Asha Sharma said, quote, "Your physical game library is more than a collection of discs. It holds years of memories and stories worth preserving. Starting next week, Xbox Insiders can unlock a digital entitlement for supported physical games. We'll start with thousands of titles and add more as we can," unquote. This is a slap in the face to Sony and their push to all digital. Sony's not offering anything like this. Is it still impending doom of an all-digital future? Yes. But this gives you more ownership over your games than what some other digital rights issues are lingering around some other platforms. Asha was then interviewed later in the day and was pushed on if Project Helix would have physical game support. We don't know yet. And this was with the BBC. Asha said, quote, "This next generation, we have to be thinking about efficiency and affordability alongside performance. All of the industry needs to start to innovate on affordability and efficiency. That is something we have not had to do. But with the crisis that's currently happening in hardware and components, it is absolutely something all of us need to be thinking about and innovating on, and giving people more choice in terms of how they play their console and how they purchase their console. I know players love physical media, and I know there are a lot of benefits in digital media, and I want to make sure people have a choice. There are stacks of games on everybody's shelves," unquote. So, what does that mean? I don't know. There were rumors that the original plan for Helix would have support for physical media. Other things have since come out that maybe not. We don't know. Plans might have changed. My hope is that it does have a physical disk drive, and if anything, they can use that as an alternative to Sony and bring in new players. That's it for gaming. Let's head on up the 5 freeway and see what's going on in Hollywood, shall we? All right, so a few weeks ago we talked about Ewan McGregor wanting to play Obi-Wan forever. Well, he already has an idea of how to bring Obi-Wan back, and it involves Yoda. Speaking with Variety, he suggested a new story where Obi-Wan goes hunting for Yoda sometime between, episode 3 and 4. McGregor said, quote, "I said there's got to be something because Yoda's somewhere else after the end of episode 3 when we all go to the 4 or 5 corners of the galaxy or however many corners it's got. I won't have been in touch with him, but he's out there. So I think there could be a story there where I'm trying to reach out to him," unquote. And I guess he had a casual chat with Dave Filoni about it, which I could get behind that. Obviously, his wife is in Star Wars Rebels, Mary Elizabeth Winstead. She's playing Hera. Not Star Wars Rebels, why did I say that? In Ahsoka. So we'll see what happens there, and if he gets another season of Obi-Wan, because I think everybody would like that. Wonder Man. Let's talk about Wonder Man being canceled, because some things are coming out about it that Wonder Man probably shouldn't have been canceled. Obviously, people loved it. It was nominated for Emmys, and it might have been Disney Plus's second most watched show this year. Why was it canceled? Why was Wonder Man canceled? That is the question everyone has. And yet Disney Plus and Marvel are claiming it had to do with viewership numbers. That doesn't make any sense if other reports are saying it had the second highest viewing on Disney Plus. Something is amiss, something is afoot, and a lot of people would like to know why and what happened. Charles Melton may be joining the Naruto movie from Destin Daniel Cretton as Kakashi. He's in talks to play the masked shinobi via The Hollywood Reporter. People know him from Riverdale and Beef. So he's a great actor if you haven't seen him. Netflix announced a bunch of new anime coming to the platform at Anime NYC. We got looks at the new season of Cyberpunk Edgerunners, The One Piece, which is the new abridged version of One Piece, Blue Eye Samurai, as well as more. Brian Tyree Henry is voicing a character in Bass Ex Machina, or Bass Machina, is that how they say it in Japanese? I'm not sure. A new trailer for Blue Eye Samurai, which is coming back in January. Cyberpunk Edgerunners 2 got a new trailer, which drops in October. Fool Knight is a new anime coming in November as well. Lego One Piece is a new Lego special dropping later this year in September. So we also got a new trailer for Sakamoto Days, which is a new anime coming in January. The One Piece reboot got new art, and that is set to come out sometime in February. Like I said, it will be a abridged version. The first season will have 7 episodes that will adapt the first 50 chapters of the manga. So, yeah, look at that. I don't have to watch 1,000 episodes. I'm hoping it's half as good as the original One Piece anime, because I do want to get into One Piece. I don't have fucking time to watch 1,000 episodes, though. Like, I don't. Nobody does. Nobody does. He-Man is killing it on streaming, which is getting people hope that it might get a sequel. After it launched on Prime, it's racked up over 1 billion minutes of watch time, which is good because it didn't make enough money in the theaters. So hopefully this gives Amazon and MGM a reason to continue the series. I thought the movie was great. I loved it. Speaking of streaming, Lanterns is shining bright in darkest night. That didn't work at all. Lanterns is now the one of the biggest launches on HBO and HBO Max. The Hollywood Reporter says that it brought in 9.3 million viewers worldwide in its first 3 days on the streaming platforms, putting it ahead of every other DC show on HBO and HBO Max, like The Penguin, Peacemaker, and more. It is one of the top 5 premieres overall on HBO Max, with 6.6 million viewers in the U.S. alone, putting it ahead of It, True Detective Night Country, but behind A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. We'll see what happens, though, over its first 90 days as the show continues to get better. I already have theories. There's a weird, interesting theory going on around online right now about the whole town. And I want to say this. They are not talking about the Martian Manhunter. I know it's confusing. Manhunters are completely separate from the Martian Manhunter. They are not similar. Do not get them confused. All right. Iman Vellani, the star of Miss Marvel on Disney Plus and in the MCU, is launching an official Countdown to Doomsday podcast. Will debut tomorrow, and she'll be podcasting with Frank Alvarez. And it will be at least 5 episodes. It will be on Disney Plus and on Marvel's YouTube channel. And then audio only across other podcast sources. So it will be visual on YouTube and Disney Plus. It will be a lead up to Doomsday, like I said. And the 5th and final episode will cover Endgame, which will meet up with the release of Avengers Endgame Encore, the new re-release of Endgame. So that's cool that they're doing an official podcast, and it's nice that they're bringing in one of their biggest fans, who's also one of their rising stars. A low-budget Chinese film has become the most profitable film of the year. A movie that cost $200 to make by a mother and son called Niu Lai has beaten Obsession to be the most profitable movie, bringing in $4.3 million US over its run in theaters in China. So, yeah, that is a 20,000 time increase. 20,000% increase over its initial budget. I don't know how it even does that. And it's in its first 10 days, it only brought in about $1,000 with fewer than 300 tickets. But then it turned into a meme and sales skyrocketed. Which, a $200 fucking movie. China's box office is wild, man. The DC universe continues to grow as we've learned more about the upcoming Gorilla Grodd and Jimmy Olsen show. It will be called The People vs. Gorilla Grodd. It is coming to HBO Max sometime in the future and has a massive cast. Of course, Skylar Gisondo is returning as Jimmy Olsen from the Superman movie. Jimmy Tatro will be voicing Gorilla Grodd, which is interesting because Grodd is usually like a very, very smart character. Jimmy Tatro is famous for playing dumb characters. It is being worked as a comedy with a true crime structure. Ooh, almost in the vein of Only Murders, probably. The People vs. Gorilla Grodd has gotten a straight-to-series order. We'll have 8 half-hour episodes on HBO Max sometime in the future. They did an official press release via the Daily Planet, which is great. So, it's coming from the creators of American Vandal as well, which is perfect. Most of the cast from Superman that were in the Daily Planet are returning, including Wendell Pierce, Michaela Hoover, and Beck Bennett. They're reprising their roles. Mary Holland, Eduardo Franco, Dan Perrault, and Arian Moayed have joined as well. So Arian Moayed is jumping from the MCU to the DCU. But this is crazy. I can't wait to see what this show ends up being. It's always nice to see Gorilla Grodd, and I'm happy that he's getting his big launch in the new DCU quite early. Josh Brolin says they're going to make a third Sicario movie, which I'm kind of surprised. Yeah, I liked the first one. I haven't watched the second one, Day of the Soldado. I wonder if it's good. We have news in the Harry Potter world. Gilderoy Lockhart has been cast. Which, this is funny, because if you're like, wait a minute, hasn't he already been cast? Have I forgotten? It plays into what happens to Gilderoy Lockhart with that. But Nicholas Hoult has dropped out of the Harry Potter television show's second season, and will be replaced by Kit Harington, who is taking over as Gilderoy Lockhart in season 2 of the upcoming Harry Potter show. Yeah, even though Holt was supposed to do it, something happened with scheduling conflicts, and now we are going to be getting Kit Harington back on HBO screens sometime in the future. France is getting a new theme park outside of Paris. This one, helped being built by the Saudis, is going to be a $7 billion Dragon Ball Z themed amusement park outside of Paris. So I guess France is one of the largest consumers of manga and anime outside of Japan and the US. While DBZ is huge in Mexico, I didn't know it was that big in France either. So, which is crazy. During the Saudi Crown Prince's visit to Paris earlier this week, the announcement was made by the Élysée Palace. Champs-Élysées. Yeah, the Élysée. That's how you say that. Yes. So, apparently both him, MBS, and Macron love Dragon Ball Z, which, crazy. It'll be built northwest of the capital city of France. It will create about 22,000 jobs. Construction is expected to take several years. No date was announced. Concept art shows a massive mountain in the middle with a giant Shenron being built out of it as well. So the funds are being, of course, provided by Qiddiya, which is part of the PIE, the Private Investment Fund. This is going to be one of 2 Dragon Ball Z amusement parks. The first one was announced back in 2024, and that one is being built in Qiddiya City in Saudi Arabia. So, look at that. We're getting 2 Dragon Ball Z theme parks. It's a shame Toriyama is not here to see it. The RoboCop television show has found its Alex Murphy in Dan Stevens. He will be joining the Prime Video show soon. He announced it on a Instagram post to make the announcement. But I'm interested in this. I was hoping that it would be a continuation of the movie, but it's not. Deadline first reported it that he would be the new Alex Murphy. But I like Dan Stevens. Everything I've seen him in, I've enjoyed. So we'll see when this show drops sometime in the future. Hopefully it's better than the Joel Kinnaman remake. The world lost 2 great people this week. Dolly Parton, unfortunately, passed away at the age of 80 on Tuesday. Country music icon, generous woman, trailblazer, icon, a rhinestone is what they called her family in the announcement. It's just unfortunate. She's done so much for the world. I don't think people realize she donated so much money to a book program that helped so many children learn to read. She paid for the tuition of college for employees at her Dolly World theme park, which, mind you, Dolly World is supposed to be one of the best theme parks in the country. She had been having some health issues over the last few months, but Dolly Parton, at 80 years old, has sadly passed away. The world mourns for a great woman. One of the last people that everyone liked. And then today, we lost Tim Curry, who, that man was a part of my childhood. I love Muppets Treasure Island. You know, why are we losing that, people? Tim Curry was also 80. He suffered a stroke just over a decade ago. So I will say this, he's probably more at peace now. I loved him in The Wild Thornberrys as Nigel. Smashing. I cannot for the life of me do a Nigel Thornberry voice. Man, it just sucks. He took over as Palpatine in the Clone Wars. He, like I said, Muppet Treasure Island is a great movie. He's in Clue. He's in the original version of It. He's in Home Alone 2. He's famous for playing Dr. Frank in Furter in the Rocky Horror Picture Show. The man did so much, and we lost him too. It's just unfortunate. Just unfortunate. Yeah. People are calling Marvel out over this Endgame re-release for not featuring that much new footage, calling it movie DLC. We don't really need that, do we? We don't need more downloadable content. How do you guys feel about this? I don't think I'm gonna go watch it. As much as I would love to watch Endgame in the theater again, I don't know if 4 extra minutes is worth me spending that money. It has to be that good to get my butt in a seat to go watch this redone version. And they've already released screenshots where they fixed the color grading and made it pop a little bit more. And the Russo brothers are saying it's going to connect more to Doomsday and Secret Wars and things like that. And they're saying it's important to see it, but they're calling it required viewing. I don't know, though. This 4 minutes has to be worth fucking while, because it's also going to have 2 sneak peeks at Doomsday, but one of those sneak peeks will only be in certain showings, which is also strange. I guess it's only in IMAX showings of it, but that doesn't make any sense. I don't know. Maybe it's worth it. Maybe it is. Again, I don't know. We'll have to see when we get there. Ridley Scott has announced a new Alien movie that he's working on. I don't know, man. He's hit or miss. We all know that. I love Ridley Scott, though, and Alien franchise is fun. But he is working on a sequel to Alien Covenant. While speaking with the LA Times, he said he was developing it. It would include Michael Fassbender's return as well. And he's saying that it would see Fassbender's character David, quote, creating a brave new world for himself and deal with AI going Ari, unquote. So, yeah, I mean, Covenant set up a big future for Alien. We've gotten so many other things in the franchise since. I mean, really, A, Ridley Scott's getting old. B, he's been trying to get this movie made for like a decade at this point. I don't know. I'd watch it. I like Alien Covenant. I like Prometheus. So, also, Andrew Garfield has a movie coming out soon called The Uprising. It is a story about the peasant revolt in England in 1381. I was very interested in this movie for a little bit. Then things started coming out saying it's been given the tagline "Witness the Rise of Robin Hood," quote unquote. However, it's not getting that tagline in the UK, only in America. So is this a Robin Hood movie or not? Because if it's a Robin Hood movie, I have zero interest. Zero. I don't care. Robin Hood movies are a dime a dozen these days. So, also, Robin Hood takes place. Robin Hood was around much earlier than the 1300s, especially the late 1300s. He's literally dealing with King Richard III. So, people are very confused. The movie is now being called The Uprising, The Rise of Robin Hood. This was not marketed as a Robin Hood movie. I saw the trailer for this movie a couple weeks ago, either when I was watching the end of Oak Street or Super Troopers. That movie was not being billed as a Robin Hood movie just a few weeks ago. Something changed recently, and apparently the studio or someone involved there's some mixed signals going on, because a day later it went back to being called The Uprising. The distributor in the UK said, quote, "Marketing materials posted by other countries that may appear in the UK online and on social media referencing Robin Hood are not issued or approved by us," unquote. Something fishy's going on. I said King Richard III. It's King Richard I. The Peasants' Revolt was against King Richard II. But again, nothing was ever clarified about this movie saying it would be about Robin Hood. We have real historical figures like Wat Tyler and John Ball. Andrew Garfield was supposed to be playing a character called Plowman. Production notes have changed, saying one mentioned Robin Hood now, or the earlier version of production notes did not mention Robin Hood at all. The new version does. It's weird to see this change about 2 weeks out from release. But if it is a Robin Hood movie, like I said, I have zero interest. I don't care. I haven't watched a new Robin Hood movie since the Russell Crowe one, and that was a drag. Speaking of Ridley Scott, nothing beats the Disney version or Men in Tights. Like, let's be honest. But let's wrap up with a review of Tony, the new movie from Matt Johnson about Anthony Bourdain. And already, I'm going to tell you, this is in the running for one of my favorite movies of the year. It was so good. And yes, it's somewhat of a standard fare when it's for coming of age, but it was just that good. My top 3 movies as of right now this year are, what was it? Project Hail Mary, Tony, Spider-Man Brand New Day, and Have Fun, Don't Die. What's that movie? What is it? Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. That movie's also amazing if you haven't watched it. But this movie, Tony. So I usually love watching travel and food stuff. I got more into that during COVID. Watching Chopped all the time, watching the Food Network a lot more. You know, I always enjoyed Somebody Feed Phil, which is in very similar vein to Anthony Bourdain's Parts Unknown and things like that. I had always a casual understanding of Anthony Bourdain and his style and his prose and things like that. I have never watched that much of his content. I never really wanted to read Kitchen Confidential. I have delusions of grandeur sometime about cooking and things like that. I post on my personal feed. As now that I've been living alone for a while, I like to cook my own things. I like kitchen gadgets, stuff like that. But I had never really dived deep into the Anthony Bourdain of it all. So when I knew the movie was coming out, I wanted to see it regardless because, A, maybe it could give me some insight into the man, the myth, right, who unfortunately took his own life back in 2018. But he had exposed, maybe exposed isn't the right word, he brought to light the underbelly of working in kitchens, of being a chef, and just like the dark like shadowy parts of it, drugs and alcohol abuse and depression and all that. And I think we've seen that over time with chefs in general. And that's how he got famous with his book. And he was a world-class chef. Then he was given a travel show, and he worked on CNN and the Food Network and so many different places. But what this movie does differently is that it literally only tells the story of just a few months of his life when he was still in college in the 70s. And in the beginning, you don't like him. The character that he plays, the path that he goes down, it is not someone you want to emulate. And yeah, it has that coming of age story, but most coming of age stories tell a lot longer time of a story. We know this is just the beginning of Anthony Bourdain's life in cookery, and things will not get better. Maybe they're good in this short little window, but they won't get better over time. And I think that's what works about this movie. This movie is so well filmed and so well written, and the way it's handled, it's mostly set within the kitchen and one other part of a house on the beach. It's within Provincetown on Cape Cod. This movie, also, they did so well to make it a true period piece. The actors are great. Dominic Sessa, in his fourth film role, you may have seen him in The Holdovers, plays a young Bourdain. Antonio Banderas plays the chef. He's never really given a name. If he doesn't win an Oscar for this role, I'll be shocked. Amelia Jones is in it, as well as Stavros Halkias. I'll watch anything with Stavros. Check out season 3 of Tires, by the way. Stavros has a minor role. Don't get me wrong. There's other people in this movie, but you can see they portray it. And I don't know how much of this is described in his book Kitchen Confidential, but you can see how it was never his intention to be a chef, and B, how he got involved in drugs and things like that while working in kitchens. But you can see him essentially fall in love with cooking because of his time at this restaurant on Cape Cod. But it's a different way of telling a coming of age story without giving you the whole deep picture. And I think that's what works about it. It's straightforward. It explains, I think, Anthony Bourdain in a way that maybe another movie couldn't. They focus on a specific period of time in his life, and I think that was the best way to do it. Like I said, Antonio Banderas, if he doesn't get Best Supporting Actor, I'll be surprised. Dominic Sessa is a rising star and will continue to do amazing things in Hollywood. The movie doesn't waste your time. It sets out to do what it wants from the beginning and never falters. It doesn't slow down. Like I said, it is hyper-focused on a specific time and event in Anthony Bourdain's life, and it portrays it perfectly. And it explains the way Anthony Bourdain maybe lived and focused his life for the 20 years after this event of his life. He's kind of a creep in this movie, and I think that's what they want you to see about him, and see how he changed and how he grew up. Not fully. This is not a complete coming-of-age story, but you can see what shaped him and set him on the path that he would then go down for the rest of his life. And it's a great movie, and you really should watch it. And if you love Anthony Bourdain, you should watch it. If you love Kitchen Confidential, you should watch it. If you have an interest in cookery or things like that, you should watch it. If you love great movies, you should watch it. But for me, Tony is a 10 out of 10 and is contending for the top movie of 2026 so far for me. Obviously, that list will come out at the end of the year, but go check out Tony. Other than that, I will catch you guys on the flip side. Thank you for listening week in, week out. Appreciate all that you do. Check out the website, like, share, subscribe, do whatever floats your boat. And like I said, I'll catch you guys on the flip side.
Thanks for listening to Mixler News. I'll catch you guys